that?
I don't know why it did that. Is that creepy looking kind of, huh?
That's, yeah. Happy
I think
Halloween.
I'd take that off.
Happy
unless you like
Halloween.
being blue.
Okay, I'll try and turn it off while we're
Yeah, you can.
happy
Yeah, you
Halloween.
should turn
Yeah,
that
you can
off.
just do whatever you want. It's all very nice. It looks
If
like
you
we're
want to be
looking at
blue, just be blue.
You're
angels
looking from
touching.
voice to the bottom of the sea. They had that.
Yeah, it's an
previously.
angel touching the earth, and that's the picture I'm trying to
Oh,
Well,
good.
show. But anyway.
I'll take it. I will take all the angels we can get right now. Bring them.
Oh,
All right.
I'm right here. What?
Amen,
Oh,
brother.
Missy is here. Welcome everyone to our daily success call for whatever day this is, Monday, the 27th of September. John Lavinia here with you, as is the case every Monday. Good to see you all. It is, we're going to have a fun week, if that's okay with the group. If it pleases the group, can we have a fun week? Can we do that?
please.
Yes.
Please.
Thank you. All right. The angel has touched the planet, and we shall now have a fun week. Good to see you guys once again. We got a lot going on here in our community. And what are we going to cover today? Who's got a topic? Who's got something that we could take up that would be not only profound, but instructive?
Profound.
Anyway, profound yet instructive. Michael? And it's
Of
not
course.
tech supported. Okay, come on, Michael. What's going
Okay.
on in your business?
Well, this is about faith, about going forward with whether, of course, whether you want to. Let me change that. I got the shot yesterday. I got jabbed yesterday. I didn't want to. It was a scary thing for me because I got COVID pretty bad. So I decided that live or die. I'm willing to gamble everything because I just found out yesterday that someone's dad who had taken it had overnight gone, done. And then they found out about the Pfizer thing, that there was blood clots.
What does this have to do with e-commerce?
This has to go with e-commerce because regardless of the outcome, still pushing forward, willing to put everything on the line to move forward, making sure that the focus is the end result. And sometimes it is, you have to do things that are scary. Sometimes you have to do things that aren't nice, but you have to do them for whatever reason. And by having that commitment to do that, again, it was a gamble. I'm still here, so it worked out. But the fact is that you have to sometimes really determine what we're in for, like how committed are we to what we're doing.
Okay. Thank you. Got that. Missy, you've got your hand up as well, but I've got some ideas about commitment if you want to talk about that. Missy, your thoughts?
Well, I was just for myself, if anybody else has this, I'm trying to make a list of things and to do, and I'm checking them off, but then something always happens and I can't get back to where I was, and then the next thing comes, and then I'm finding difficult to follow my own directions, even though it's getting more and more organized. But you go with your topic. That's all.
Okay. No, I got, there's one topic that kind of crosses that bridge with both of them. Thank you. Thank you, Missy. Thank you, Michael. Let's dig into this. I've got some ideas. All right. So lines are muted. We're all good. Okay. I just had this conversation in my mastermind group where we have, I want you to picture this for a minute. So here's little Johnny, and he is 7 years old. And mom and dad asked little Johnny, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he has no idea. Well, astronaut sounds good. And, rocket surgeon and doctor, lawyer, president, whatever. Okay. Cool. Now, does anybody even take that seriously? Does Johnny even take that seriously? What do I want to be when I grow up? I don't friggin' know. That would be the correct answer. Okay. Here's a better question. Why don't we look at the question? What do you want to be? What if we, and many of you have heard this, you've heard me talk about the whole idea that you've got to be something before you can do something. You got to do something before you can have something, right? This goes back to, we can go into scripture and find this truth, all right? It's nothing new about it. But in the recent history, in 1800s, Johann Goethe said, one must be something in order to do something. So It's be, do, and have in that order. You be it, then you do it, then you have it. So since we're asking for a result from Johnny, we're asking Johnny to postulate his future. Why don't we ask this question? Johnny, what do you want to have when you grow up? Oh, well, I'd like the big house. And of course, it would be great to have a wife and kids and picket fence, the dog running around. And yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. I saw the neighbor has the fountain. I like fountains too. And maybe I could even have some influence in the community. I like what Sally down the street does with with the soup kitchen thing on the weekends. I want to be a contributor too. I want to have those sort of effects. I want to have those kind of experiences in my life. And I want to be able to go to Disney World whenever I want. All right, Johnny, we're going to have to make some money to do that. Okay, those things cost money. And then if that's real, if that target, if that outcome, if that experience is real, it's a lot more real than I want to be an astronaut. Okay. But if that havingness, right, if that experience is more real, then Johnny, as he grows up and discovers methods, different things he could do or not do, then he could commit to those things more readily, give himself a command and then follow it, right? Follow his own self-determined instructions, destination, because he's become the person who would have that. So yes, be, do, and have in that order. But when we talk about who are we being, who's showing up here to do this work, who's making the commitments, and what decisions are we making based on hopefully where we're going, right? Not just based on what everybody else thinks you should do. Okay. Because he heard somebody else was an astronaut or something. What does that even mean? Right. But because I saw examples of, let's say in this community here, Rachel, right, who has earned what many people would call a spectacular income, right? I think we could all agree a way, way above average income in the online business space, right? Is that what attracts you? Is the having of those kind of results? Okay, fantastic. Now let's reverse engineer this. All right. So to have those results, what must you do, right, to be the person who would have those results? Well, what would Rachel do? There's a great question, right? So if these are the results we're after, who's got to show up and what decisions, what doingness do they have to do to have that result? So this makes it all very clear. Where we get unclear is where we're vague on what's the carrot. What's the carrot? I'm not sure. I mean, it would be nice if, well, I don't want to be greedy. I don't want to limit myself, and after all, I mean, there's the other thing I could do too. I'm chasing 15 different rabbits over here. Maybe this one will work for me. Maybe it'll happen to me. Maybe it will happen to me. You lose. So there's nothing vague about what we want to have. And the more unvague we are about the guaranteed future outcome, about the result, the experience that we shall not be denied, guess what we just became? We just became the person who will not be denied. The more relevant and the more decided that is, the more I, as a decided person, show up and do this or that, say yes or say no to different opportunities. Yes, execute that plan. No, on that plan, we will not go down that road, right? I can make decisions as the guy who would have that result, that guaranteed future outcome. What did I become? I became decisive. So little Johnny, rather than just, throwing out some BS answers that don't mean anything to him or to the person asking him, which is probably his parents, can actually start to assess opportunities to do or not do and get out of his own way in terms of indecision. This is the killer of dreams, the killer of lives. Napoleon Hill, in his controversial book, Outwitting the Devil, which some of you have read, he mocked up this whole conversation with the devil. And he's wrestling the devil, trying to extract the secrets of how he crushes men. And finally, the devil comes clean. And he says, if I could get a man to drift through life in a state of chronic indecision, I've beaten it. Indecision. So we must be decisive. And then we can commit to a known outcome. We commit to a known outcome, a known experience. Look, nobody would show up here if you didn't have at least some faith, to use the word that Michael just brought up, some faith that you could actually get a result. You wouldn't persist. You wouldn't keep showing up. You would have, I mean, you'd be sitting around waiting for, I don't know, the government to do something for you or something to happen to you. Back to that whole idea of cause and effect, right? Something hopefully, and hope is not a strategy, hopefully will happen to me. The gods will smile upon me and I shall be bequeathed with the riches. I mean, it sounds silly just coming out of my mouth, but this is how most people think. If you surveyed most people, like if you were ever going to be rich, how would it happen? You know what the number one answer is? Number one, by far, I'd have to win the lottery. How's that sound? Does that sound like you're knowing and willing cause and making stuff happen in your life, that you're effective? No. In fact, a lot of these people, if that's the only way that they think they could ever, be financially independent or whatever, they don't even buy the lottery ticket. So you'd think that if they really even believed that nonsense, that they'd at least go out and buy a lottery ticket or something. Well, I don't want to have to actually buy the ticket, right? That's not what I think of prosperity. I think somebody should give me the ticket, right? That should also rain down from the heavens. Wow. So we've gotten into a state of comfort. I say we loosely. We've gotten into a state of comfort with irresponsibility. Irresponsibility. You do for me. Now, look, anything we put on autopilot, we admit that we've lost control of. You get in your car, you put the car on cruise control, right? So now you're no longer controlling the speed of that car. You've given up responsibility for the speed. And yes, I know that you are the one who made the decision. Okay, but now moving forward, and until you disable that machinery, that car is responsible for its own speed. The machinery is set to a predetermined, result, like the thermostat in your house, like the innermost expectations that you have for yourself with your self-conscious, your self-image, which is actually what makes your decisions for you. So we can all sit around and I suppose we could have opinions and arguments and whatever. Why did you do that? That's another question that little Johnny got a lot. Why did you do that? Or why didn't you do that? And he'll give you an answer. And will it be the right answer? Probably just as right as the whole astronaut thing, for what it's worth, which isn't much. And maybe he does become an astronaut. Maybe, that's fine. But what percentage of kids who say they're going to be an astronaut actually become an astronaut? Why? Where's the carrot? What's the end result of being, what is that experience, right? Floating in space and doing like high risk, kind of stuff to whatever end. And some people are really into it. But I would say that's the minority of people. And look, if that's your calling, then go kill it, man. Do the astronaut thing, like do it. But what we got to do is get decided and get unvague about this stuff. If you know where you're going, then you can more readily make decisions and commit to those decisions after the honeymoon, right? Because the honeymoon wears off pretty quick. Oh, the novelty of a new business. Okay, that's nice. But guess what's going to happen in a couple of weeks? Those of you who've been here for a little while, you already know what's going to happen in a couple of weeks, a month, whatever. Shiny objects. Oh, over here. Oh, over here. Now that you're open to opportunity, because you know that you're going somewhere in your life, all these opportunities show up. You got to stay the course with what you've decided is going to be that which bears fruit, that which brings you to that experience. Now, once you've got momentum here, let's say you've got you've got a couple thousand listings, you got sales coming in on a regular basis, and you've got some machinery in place, you've got a bit of leverage there that is sustainable. Now you can put your attention on some other methods or products and what have you. But the fox that chases two rabbits catches neither. Said, I don't know who said that. Probably Confucius. Maybe not. Who knows? I said it. So let's go ahead and catch that rabbit. Okay, because we decided that is the course that we're on. Now, if you've proven to yourself that you're on the wrong course, which many people have done, talking about committing and having the faith to be that you're going in the right direction, then that you will actually get what you want. If you've proven to yourself that you're barking up the wrong tree, like I did for years, working my corporate job. Okay, if you want a corporate job, that's fine. That's just not my path. Okay, and so 20 however many years ago that I transitioned out of that passionately okay, almost desperately, because my health was failing and everything else, stressed out, working 80 hours a week. I put that energy into business in a way that there was nothing vague about that either. It was a very decided transition. It was a deliberate and fully committed experience. And I think here's the challenge a lot of times with people, back to the whole idea of self-image, which is like that thermostat that you set for yourself, all right, or the autopilot, the cruise control in the car, or anything that you put on automatic. When we set our mental or emotional or physiological thermostat for a certain amount of production, and therefore a certain amount of payment, right, recompense, a certain amount of reward, if that is where our thermostat is set, and that's what's actually making the decisions for us without us even thinking about it, like the thermostat in your house turns on the air conditioning, turns on the heat. We're still doing air conditioning here. We're finally out of summer. Finally. I know other places celebrate when they're finally out of winter. Here in Phoenix, we celebrate finally being out of summer. But it was only 99 degrees yesterday. Yeah, 2 digits, baby. But if we're not looking at the thermostat, and why would we, right? It's already set. You have to keep checking your thermostat. How many times do you guys walk down the hall and check your thermostat? Like 25,000 times a day? No, you don't. You set it and forget it. Same with the self-image. So we've got the thermostat set to make, I don't know, let's pick a small amount of money, 100,000 a year, let's say, okay, or 50 or 200 or whatever sounds like a small amount of money for you, okay? And now we showed up with different methods, but as the person who would have, remember, little Johnny, what do you want to have, right? As the person who would have only 100,000 a year, I don't care what the methods are. I don't care. You're going to have 100,000 a year or 50 or 10 or whatever the number is that you've set your thermostat to. This is what actually makes your decisions. This clouds or filters your judgment in terms of yes, no, opportunity, right? Good, bad, do, don't do, try, whatever that means. And so what we've got to do, I would argue, what we've got to do is we've got to go look at the thermostat, set that to a place where we decided what we wanted and that we will not be denied that, and then start showing up as the person who would have it. We start making very different decisions. But back to the idea of like transitioning out of a job and into entrepreneurship, okay, which a lot of you are working on doing. If the thermostat at the job, in other words, if the job complied with the thermostat, your financial thermostat, let's say, and you can get this out of T. Harv Eker's book as well, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. But if that is comfortable, right? If that's on that same frequency with that thermostat, okay, then you'll find ways for this huge opportunity to fit comfortably in with that thermostat. So what needs to change? Okay, sure, methods, right? If you can't raise the thermostat in that environment, okay, well then let's pick some other methods, but then we better raise that thermostat. We got to raise our expectations for ourselves based on what we want, not what we think we can accomplish based on whoever we were yesterday, which is totally irrelevant. Oh yeah, you made 100,000 a year at your job. Who cares? Right now, meaning now, who's showing up? Oh, the person who has the $250,000 a year, the house, the whatever. Okay. Otherwise, you'll find a way, and it always works. You'll find a way to just stay right in that comfort zone. How could I tell you all this? I sound very confident as I'm telling you all this. Why am I so confident? Can you guess? Because I've done it. Like I haven't arrived or anything. Like this, it takes one to know one, right? I'm the one in my comfort zone. You guys just get to listen in to me talking to myself here. I'm the one who got comfortable. I'm little Johnny, still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. Not asking myself the right questions. What do I want to have? Not what do I think I can accomplish based on yesterday? What do I want to have? What do I want to experience? Now we're talking. And now I can make some new decisions about who's showing up, regardless of the methods, the people involved, the social environment, which is important. I'll wind up finding myself or creating environments that are conducive to my growth. We created one here, by the way. Here it is. Welcome, everybody. All right. So that wasn't by happenstance. Yeah, there are ways to stack the deck in our favor. I'll take every unfair advantage I can get. Why? Because I have a reason to. I have a reason to get unreasonable. Unreasonable, meaning going beyond what I think is reasonable based on whatever I knew from yesterday, which was limited. Can we use our imagination a little bit? Can we do that? I don't know if that directly correlates to what Missy or Michael had introduced, but for me, it correlates perfectly, because whether we're talking about, do I do what I said I was going to do here on my list of tasks, or do I comply or not comply with whatever this other thing is that I'm supposed to do? Who's making those decisions? That's what we've got to be conscious of. And so I would offer you that the most profound and powerful thing you can do, well, keep showing up in these conversations, but go ahead and read the books that I recommended. Show up and, I don't know how many churchgoers we have, but like there's so much richness in studying, the truths of the ages scripture, right? Because it was Jim Rohn, the late Jim Rohn said, work twice as much on you as you do on your business. Coffee cups. Okay, fine. Coffee cups. Fine. T-shirts, e-commerce, fine. Methods. Okay. Who's doing it? That's the bigger consideration. Once we've got that answered, wow, you can do all kinds of stuff, right? Do you think, and I'll end off with this, do you think that if Rachel, I used her as an example already, do you think that if Rachel had to start over right now, day one, all right, Rachel, it's your first day in business, here's this thing called e-commerce. How do you think she would approach this? Do you think there would be indecision, tentativeness, doubt, right? If you had to start over at day one, if that isn't clear enough for you, pick, is Johnny here? Where's Johnny? Johnny, who likes to jump in and talk about he's at the gym and he's kicking ass and pumping iron, right? Johnny. If Johnny woke up one day and was completely out of shape, how long do you think it would take for Johnny to show up at the gym? Like he would forget to eat breakfast, man. He'd be in the gym like that. He's in the gym, right? Because his self-image makes that decision. Johnny has the 6-pack. Actually, this Johnny right here has a 4-pack. I'm not quite at the 6-pack. I just had pancakes and they were great. And I like my pancakes. And so I only get a 4-pack for that. I could make different decisions, but apparently a 6-pack isn't, a priority at this moment. But I know it is for John. Is Johnny here? I don't even know. Am I making a point? It is your self-image which makes your decision. Your innermost expectations and beliefs about yourself. If you want to have faith in something, have faith in your ability to actually get what you want, which means you need to know what you want and not be vague about it, right? And then you can be that powerful version of you who shows up and kicks ass and people are like, oh my goodness, you're special. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you for being here with me. What a great way to start our week. Hopefully it's great. Hopefully I didn't just rattle everybody's cages. Well, everybody's still here, so that's fine. Hey, Denise, and then Kelly, and then Raza and Gaza. Hey, Denise, you've got the floor. How are you, my friend? You're looking awesome as always, by the way.
Oh,
You're always a ray of sunshine.
unmute.
Yeah, you are unmuted.
Oh, I'm unmuted. It's Monday,
Yeah.
right? It's Monday. Okay. I just have a few things to say. One, I just wanted to say something about what you said about the government, about the people waiting for the government to figure things out for them. I travel a lot, and I was in Argentina and Chile, and I realized that in Argentina and Chile, people they don't do anything for themselves. Literally, the government pays for everything for them. The government pays for their housing. The government in Argentina and Chile, the government pays for their housing.
Can anybody hear Denise? No, Denise.
cars, and everyone had DirecTV, and they had incredible cars, and they either lived in government housing or metal shacks. The same in Argentina. Everyone lived in government housing, and they had like Mercedes and BMWs, and so it's kind of interesting what you were talking about is people there, they don't do for themselves. They expect the government to do everything for them, which is really sad, so I just wanted to say that. And then I wanted to talk to you about how you were saying how we set a course for ourselves. I remember talking to you before I started the Launch 100 program. And you said to me, this is what you said to me, Denise, you seem like the kind of person that sees all of the shiny things, and you go after all of the shiny things. You say, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. And you know what? You were right. I have spent $30,000 on e-com programs. And it's ridiculous. And when you said that to me, I went, oh, wow, he's right. And you know what? From that moment on, I said, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm sticking to this program, and I'm going to do good at this program. I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to work on it every day. This is going to be my thing that I am going to be successful at, and I'm going to work on it, and I'm going to be, I'm going to be a rock star at it. And so since that day, I have worked on it every day, and I have not looked anywhere else. I haven't seen any other shiny things since that day. So thank you to you for that, and then my goal is to, my thermostat is set at making more than my husband. So my thermostat is set at, well, I'm not going to say how much my husband makes. It's a lot, but my thermostat is set at to make more than my husband. And so I have a high set thermostat, and I'm excited for it. And I want to say one more thing. I saw in the church parking lot yesterday the most amazing, beautiful car I have ever seen. I don't know why. It's been around since I looked it up, since 2012, and I've never seen it in my entire life, maybe because it's so expensive people don't buy it. It's called a Karma, K-A-R-M-A. Have you ever heard of them, John?
No.
My gosh, they're beautiful. It's incredible. The Karma Sport is 185,000, which is probably why most people don't have them. But look it up. It is the most beautiful car I have ever seen. So that right there is my goal. You said we have goals. People want a Lamborghini. People want to go to Italy. Well, I'm going to Italy in February. So those kind of things are my goals because we travel a lot. So I saw it yesterday and I said, Shane, that's my goal. I
Here
want
it is
that.
right here.
So yes. Oh my gosh, isn't that beautiful?
It's on my dream board. They made them right next to me. Yeah, I love that. That's
Really?
the one I want to. Oh my God, they're phenomenal. Have you ever seen one in person? You have.
Oh yes, yesterday.
That's, right there's my
I
dream
saw it
board. Right
yesterday in my church parking lot, and I sat there for 20 minutes staring at it. It's the most beautiful thing ever. Yes. Yeah, that's my goal. That's it right there. That's what I want.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
That's
got
all I
some,
had to
I'm
say.
looking at it right now online. It's got some nice
Oh.
lines. Got the butterfly doors like a Lambo.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
It is to
Okay.
die for. Yeah.
Wow. Well, don't
Yeah.
die, but get a car though. Yeah, get a car.
Yeah.
A Karma to be specific. Okay. You just
Karma.
enlightened me. I thought I was a car guy, but apparently not compared to Denise.
I'm
Yeah.
totally a car person, John. I mean,
Mhm.
I know so much about cars, more than the average female, I think. And I never heard of it before. I was shocked.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful.
Karma.
Yeah.
Wow. Good stuff, everybody. Thank you, Denise.
Thanks,
Good
John.
reason to show up and make some money. And look, you get the karma, but you also get all the other stuff too. You can do a lot more good with money than you can without, right? So let's go make some money unapologetically. Fantastic. Kelly, how are you, Kelly? And then we'll hear from Gary and Rosalie. Hey, Kelly.
Hi, it's so lovely to see you guys all again live. I kind of tune in off times just because life's been really busy, but I still appreciate these calls. It's just such a wonderful energy and such a great gathering place. I wanted to throw a couple words in the bucket there. I'm trying to segue in with the car. I love the car thing. And T. Harv Eker, it's what triggered it because I was listening to some of his material the other day. A couple things really struck me. One is it's like the car we're driving in to get to our goal. Right? So it's that inner state or a mindset or a thermostat. But these are the kind of perspective I just wanted to share. One is if we choose inner peace as a top priority, that's a car. Like if we learn how to always get back to like calm and centered, he calls it be the eye of the hurricane, calm and centered no matter what, then we're driving in an interior car and we're going to drive way more peacefully and gracefully and joyfully to our goal. And then the other thing is, he said, when you're choosing your goals, when you're choosing the things that you're, the goals that you're setting, look at how you're choosing them. Are you choosing them from fear and obligation? Or are you choosing from joy and purpose? And that one really hit me because I was a big fear and obligation person. I used to call it the duty demon, that drove me. So now I'm really trying to focus on joy and purpose. So that's going to be my karma car. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. By the way, are these cars all electric? Don't they have a gas engine powered one? I'm like looking for the gas engine one. I think they're all electric. All right. Denise, you got me looking at cars now. Thank you, Kelly. Glad you're here. Raza and Gaza. How you guys doing?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey.
Just in your decision-making thing that you talked about there, John, there's a number of people. In fact, I even work for a boss who claims that he can fix businesses and do things that most others can't, and he helps others. But, he's a perfectionist and he takes ages to make a decision. And it drives me absolutely nuts, actually, because he waits until the last minute to get everything done. And there's so much pressure all the time. And so I guess the message for today is just make a decision, even if it is slightly imperfect. It really, really doesn't matter. Just get on and do it.
And we did it, didn't we, John?
Oh my goodness, yes. Well, imperfect and done beats perfect and not done.
I just wanted to talk about the conversation with the child, little Johnny.
Right.
I've got two grandchildren, 10 and 12. And that really resonated with me because very soon that's the question that's going to come at them. And I probably would have been one of those person that said the old stuff. Now I've got a script and maybe I can help their parents think about it before they ask them that question. And it's very powerful. I appreciate that.
Good. I appreciate you listening. So these are questions that we can ask ourselves. And it's interesting when we hear it coming out of our own mouths because we've been deliberate about our internal dialogue, because the external dialogue reveals what we tell ourselves all the time. So I've got to be deliberate about that. I mean, after all, I'm a parent, right? I've got a 10, almost 11-year-old girl who's expecting me to have something resourceful to teach her, right? Which is, in my case, why I waited or procrastinated or whatever it was till the point where I was 40 when she was born, right? So arguably that's a little late. I know it was Picasso who had a child at 80 years old. So I'm not looking to go down that road. But anyway, relatively speaking, a little bit late. But I'm glad to be here with you guys. Wow, what a great conversation. Great way to start our week. Any other thoughts before we wrap up for today and get on with e-commerce stuff and figuring out Gear Bubble or whatever's next? Any other thoughts from anyone? Okay, I see Scott saying breakout room today. Come join. Anything for thought? All right. Okay, cool. So as soon as we shut down this room, it'll open again. If you guys want to talk about tech and share screens and whatever you want to do, it's always a pleasure to see you all. Scott, did you have a comment?
Yeah, just thanks, John, for mentioning that. I think it's been important. We've been able to help people with problems a little bit. and
Mhm.
we talk about things that we've discussed here today, and we also talk about if somebody has any issues or problems. We've learned how to screen share. We get through some difficulties and just say hello, everybody. This stuff is wonderful. I I just can't say how much the learning and everything is. I've been doing this for 8 weeks, and I'm getting close to 300 on items on Amazon, and my Etsy store is growing. I don't have any sales yet, but I feel like a mound of cash is piling up underneath me here soon. So
Sales are imminent. I wouldn't keep affirming.
it's
I don't have any
happening.
sales yet.
Just yeah, it's all good. Thank you.
Good. Glad you're here, Scott. Sales are imminent. Cynthia, you had your hand up. Hey, Cynthia.
Hello. Hi. I appreciate everyone's input. And John, great. I like the intro talk there. I think the one thing that I'm taking away that's sifting here is to recognize if we have fear of success. Do I have a fear of success? It's not about all the other things like, I can't do this or I won't do that. But do I fear success? Do I fear that leaving that comfort zone, right? That you talked about. And I think the struggle, at least has been in the past for me, is identifying with age as in numbers instead of getting outside of that box and thinking, oh, well, I'm this old, right? But the fear of success is kind of all encompassing at a point because of comfort. Am I wrong?
Well, I've heard it said that poverty is a vice.
Good.
You're kind of
Not
chewing
good,
on that
but
for
yeah, no.
Yeah, it's a vice.
Poverty is a vice. That's good, John. I so appreciate you guys in this discussion because it's like these nuggets, right? It's like connect the dots. First someone brings this, then you bring that. Good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Awesome. Then I saw Marcia's hand up, or not hand, but at least unmuted. Marcia, did you have a comment? I don't want to neglect anybody here. They've got a burning desire.
I want to thank you all for this group, and thank you all for sharing, many of you. Many times I've been in the building, so I've been on for a part of the time, but then I've not been able to share, but I'm not in a particular building today. So for those who will be on afterwards, I'm just now beginning to log into my account and to sign up for my accounts and my Amazon and Etsy and Gear Bubble accounts and all of that. I think I have been one of those who have been severely affected by the fear of success. It can no longer be the fear of failure, so it has to be the fear of success. And I'm ready to step away from that. So it's been really, really frustrating sitting at this place, and it's time to move on. So I've started
Yes, we're
today
moving on.
Yes, definitely. So if anybody will be on after this, I'm trying to make use of today. Tomorrow and those other days I'll be in the building and I won't be able to be on the line actively. So
yes, this room's going to be open for you as soon as we wrap up, which is now.
Okay.
So just
Awesome.
just click the button to come back to the room, and you'll be hanging out with Scott and whoever else wants to be in here and do tech stuff. So
okay, awesome. Thank you all, guys.
Yes, Marcia. Glad you're here, my friend. All right, guys and gals, we're going to go ahead and wrap up with that. I got to run on to my next meeting. We'll be back here tomorrow with the mighty Karen